Welcome back to Gamers Talk Games. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button as we dive into why organized play is good for community building and strengthening your own gameplay. Hi, Random.
Hi, Sharkie. So we just finished a Combat Patrol League.
We did.
How did you do?
I went 3-1. How did you do?
I went 4-0.
Well, that makes sense because you were the one person that I lost against.
I was. What? It was a Combat Patrol League.
It was.
What Combat Patrol did you play?
I played the Old Orcs Combat Patrol that they don't make anymore. It has the Death Coptas and the Death Dread in it.
I played the Demons Combat Patrol that they also don't make anymore. What did you play against?
I played against the new Imperial Guard.
With all the horsies.
I played against the old Death Guard because the Death Guard Combat Patrol that just came out hadn't been released yet.
Yeah, so that would be the one with all the Poxwalkers. It's got like 30 Poxwalkers in it.
Yeah, it was wild. I played against the Demons, obviously, because I played against you. And then I played against the Tyranids Combat Patrol, the one that was just released with 10th edition.
Yeah, it's called like the Vandergast or Vandergeist Swarm or something like that. It's like the core Tyranid one. Yep.
What did you play against?
I played against the old Death Guard with all of the Poxwalkers. I played against the Tyranid Combat Patrol that was featured in White Dwarf. So that's the one with like a bunch of Von Ryan sleepers, and it's kind of focused on fights first and infiltrate.
It looked very Space Marine 2-esque.
Yeah, a little bit. Yep. I played against you with the old Orcs. And I played against the newer Chaos Space Marine Combat Patrol that has all of the Possessed and the Master of Possession in it.
Nice.
So, what would you like? Do you have any takeaways? What would you say are your takeaways from playing in this league?
I think some of my key takeaways were, one, it was just really fun to get to play with so many different people and so many different play styles. It really helped me learn how to strategize better because that is something that I am not very good at as a newer player. So getting to play against other people with different play styles helped me kind of hone that skill a little bit better. And I just really liked seeing all of the painted combat patrols. They were fun.
Okay. Yeah, I think organized play and league play is really important. I think there are like a couple reasons for that. So the first one I think you touched on was like playing against different people, right? You run into this a lot in Magic with the popularity of Commander these days. You have like the same 4 people that always play Commander every Thursday or Friday night, right? And they get used to the play styles of each other. And in the long run, that probably actually makes them weaker players because they're only playing against 3 different play styles or whatever. And a lot of times what you'll see is sort of little bits of people's play style get absorbed or like cannibalized into other people's play style. And so you end up with 4 people that all kind of play the game the same way. And then they go to a tournament and they don't understand why they get stomped. And it's because they just aren't playing against other people who play the game from a different strategic standpoint or whatever. So I think different people is important. And then you also brought up like different armies, right? You're playing against different factions. And playing against different factions is important in Warhammer because it helps you understand how each of those factions work at a fundamental level, which then helps you play into them later on when you're playing in larger games of 40K. It also solves that problem, right? If you play with the same 2 or 3 people all the time, and those 2 or 3 people only have one army, then you're constantly playing against just the same 2 or 3 armies. So you're really only learning how to play against those, not how to play against like a wider field. And that problem can be even worse if like one person that you're playing against plays World Eaters and one person plays like Chaos Space Marines and one person plays like Blood Angels, right? You're playing against all melee pressure Space Marine power armor armies all the time. And then you run into something like Tau and you're just like, I don't even know. what's the shooting phase, right? And then one thing that you didn't touch on, but I have heard you talk about, like kind of outside of the this environment, is it kind of drives you to want to play the game more,
Oh yeah.
right? Like you said several times that you're excited about the next league,
Oh yeah. I
and
am very excited about the next league.
I think that's something that happens when you play in a league, when you get out of that comfort zone and you just say like, okay, I'm going to do this whether I'm comfortable with it or not, like whether I'm interested in the competitive side of the game or not, even if you don't care if you win or lose. And like you ended with a really respectable record. I mean, you went 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you're not approaching it from that standpoint, I think playing in that like organized environment can still drive your passion to play more games.
Yeah, and I really feel like too one of the reasons why I am very excited about the next Combat Patrol League is because of the community that we have here. Like everyone is super welcoming, super forgiving, and everyone wants everyone to learn how to play and just makes it for a good experience.
Yeah, I agree. That's the other thing. I think getting out of your comfort zone and playing against other people, you realize like the vast majority of those players aren't scary to
Right,
play against.
right.
Like they want to have fun, but they also want you to have fun.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
so
we've got a really great group here.
yeah, and so I think all of those things are why it's important to participate in organized play, or
Mm-hmm.
like even going as far as saying like competitive play. It it really opens your eyes to the idea that like competitive play, yeah, maybe there's something on the line. Like in this case, everybody's entry fee went to a prize pool,
Mm-hmm.
so there were a couple $100s in store credit on the line.
Yeah.
But for the most part, nobody really cared about that.
Right.
Everybody just wanted everybody to have a good time, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's true in most competitive environments. And so I think it's important sometimes just to get out there and participate.
Mm-hmm. What about you? Do you have any takeaways?
I mean, I kind of knew what to expect going into it. I've played in a lot of organized play for a lot of other games. I hadn't had an opportunity to play 10th edition in any kind of organized fashion yet,
Mm-hmm.
even though I've played many games of 10th edition. So I really didn't take anything, I think, different than what I've already talked about from this experience. But it did reiterate to me, right, because I've been away from that competitive play scene for a while,
Mm-hmm.
right, since I sort of stepped away from competitive Magic. I haven't really participated in anything on like an organized play level for quite a while. And so it did kind of remind me of why I enjoy organized play, and why it's important to get out there and participate in it.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think other than the fact that we need to make a super important announcement, which is that for so many videos, we've said, how many games have you played? And you have said somewhere between 10 and 15.
Uh-huh.
And now I would say that that number of games is solidly up to 30, 35. Would you say, for you?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
because we've been playing Combat Patrol at least once a week,
Mm-hmm.
or a 1,000 point game of 40K,
Right.
and then you've played the full league,
Mm-hmm.
which was only 4 games, but there were a couple of those where people stuck around afterwards and picked up a second game just for
Yep.
fun. And I know that you picked up a couple of those pickup games just for
Yep.
fun. And so I'd say you're up into the easily into the 30s at this point.
Which is super exciting.
Very exciting. So I've been Random.
I've been Sharky. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check out some of our other videos.